Everything you believe about karma is wrong. What if I told you that the very act of labeling your actions as good or bad might be the source of your greatest suffering? But this is just the beginning of what Alan Watts discovered about the true nature of existence. In a world where we often find ourselves keeping score, good deeds on one side, sins on the other, Watts, a philosophical guru known for weaving Eastern philosophies into the Western mindset, invites us to re-examine this entire framework. Muddy water is best cleared by leaving it alone, he said, highlighting that perhaps the complexity of karma is something we need to let be rather than dissect. Now, imagine this. You're driving down a crowded street, the hum of life buzzing around you, people rushing to work, children laughing, lovers arguing. Each person is caught in their own narrative, playing their part in a never-ending cycle of cause and effect. You've been taught that the universe is a giant ledger, where balance is key. But what if this ledger is a mirage? The profound realization waiting for you is that karma isn't just debts and payments. It's about intention and awareness. Think about how often we blame circumstances on our past decisions. This stressful interplay of cause and effect leads many to question their self-worth, thinking, I must deserve this pain. The harsh reality is that being kind doesn't always grant you a ticket to happiness, nor does cruelty always lead to downfall. Pain exists, and sometimes it punctuates the lives of the most benevolent souls. Watts pushes us to look beyond the black and white moral fabric we've woven and teaches us that life is far more intricate. Imagine standing amidst a bustling market, vibrant fruits and spices wafting through the air. Every interaction, every choice shapes your experience, blending like colors on a painter's canvas. The traditional view of karma restricts this artistic expression, boxing life into rigid rules of recompense. In contrast, Watts asks us to embrace the fluidity of life. Karma is not a burden, but a dance, a continuous exchange between ourselves and the world around us. This understanding disrupts the comforting narratives we've stitched together. Yet this revelation opens a door to something unexpected, a deeper truth about freedom. It's not about escaping our responsibilities. We're flying away from our past. It's about awakening to the idea that we can reshape our interpretations and thus our experiences of life itself. Join me as we delve into the complex yet liberating connections between our actions, intentions, and the reality we perceive. Together, we'll explore how unraveling these threads of karma can illuminate a path toward genuine liberation. As we continue this journey, prepare to experience a shift in how you view not just karma, but the very essence of your existence. This revelation, however, is just the tip of the iceberg, because what awaits us next will challenge everything you thought you understood about karma. As we peel back the layers of this complex philosophy, we dive into a territory that many prefer to avoid, the unsettling reality of isolation. You see, in a landscape where connectedness is exalted, it's easy to overlook the silent dangers lurking in the corners of our relationships and our mental states. Society often champions companionship and community, proclaiming that happiness resides in togetherness. Yet, what they don't tell you is that the fear of isolation is equally powerful, if not more so. It whispers to us from the shadows, suggesting that the absence of others might reflect a fault within ourselves. Imagine life as a sprawling library where every experience is a book tied together through interconnected themes. The texts on the shelf may be rich with stories of triumph and joy, yet hidden within the pages are narratives of solitude, longing, and despair. These stories teach us that while social connections can invigorate us, the fear of being alone can suffocate our quest for clarity. Like shifting kaleidoscope patterns, each moment can reveal beautiful configurations, but they can also fracture into chaotic displays, exposing the disordered nature of our emotions. Alan Watts, that astute observer of human nature, reminds us that you are the universe expressing itself as a human for a little while. This awareness gives birth to an uncomfortable truth. Our most profound connections can be built as much in solitude as in unity. In the bustling backdrop of our lives, loneliness has a way of creeping in, tapping on our shoulders as we brush aside our vulnerabilities. We often fill our schedules with distractions, social media scrolls, crowded events, mistakenly believing that physical presence equates to emotional connection. Yet, underneath the noise lies the real essence of our existence, a reflection of our innermost selves that yearns for genuine understanding. Let's consider this. In any ensemble cast, each actor plays a role that contributes to the whole. However, it's in the moments backstage, alone with their thoughts, that they often confront their true identity. This isolation can be a crucible for self-discovery, offering clarity amidst a cacophony of external expectations. We must acknowledge that our darkest hours of solitude can illuminate our soul's true desires, leading us to a richer understanding of who we are. The very act of keeping a ledger of our actions, counting how many friends we have, or how frequently we connect, can distort our sense of worth. The burden of choice hangs heavy. The terror of making the wrong decision can paralyze us, make us cling to relationships that do more to suffocate than to support. Instead of liberating us, the choices we fear to confront can shackle us to a temporary state of discontent. As we navigate this intricate dance of existence, we come to the realization that embracing our solitude does not mean forfeiting connection. Rather, it is in fully accepting our own company that we empower ourselves to engage more authentically with others. We build a foundation from within, an unshakable core from which genuine relationships can sprout. Continue with me now as we unravel how these themes of isolation inform our understanding of karma and existence itself. As we delve deeper, prepare for a revelation that the darkness we sometimes fear may ultimately illuminate the path toward awakening and understanding, transforming how we engage with ourselves and the universe around us. The complexities of modern life are palpable, often manifesting in the seemingly straightforward yet intricate web of our daily experiences. As we navigate through the digital landscape, filled with social media platforms, constant notifications, and ever-present screens, we're confronted with the challenge of our identities. The plot thickens when you realize that social media, while a tool for connection, often leads us to lose sight of our true selves. We curate our lives online, crafting identities that may not reflect our genuine experiences. Much like a theater stage with changing scenery, the personas we create can shift drastically based on our audience, leaving us wondering who we truly are. In our pursuit of professional success, it's easy to fall into the trap of dissatisfaction. Too often, we measure our worth by job titles or annual bonuses, creating a life that feels more like a monotonous routine than a fulfilling journey. This is where it gets really interesting. Alan Watts reminds us that the more you know, the less you know. In recognizing our professional roles as merely one aspect of our being, rather than a comprehensive definition, we can begin to disentangle ourselves from the pressures of societal expectations. Rather than defining ourselves by our jobs, we should seek meaning in our passions and relationships, reviving that lost spark of creativity and genuine interest. Authentic relationships suffer in this environment of comparison and competition. We often find ourselves in social circles that are more about quantity than quality. In the search for connection, we might gather many acquaintances while missing out on those deeper bonds that truly enrich our lives. Picture an art gallery where each painting tells part of a story. While we may admire the numerous artworks on the wall, it is the intricate details and emotional narratives that resonate with us the most. By embracing vulnerability and sincerity, we can nurture those authentic connections that provide comfort and understanding, steering away from superficial interactions. Modern anxiety lurks in the corners of our lives, overwhelming us with an abundance of information. The constant barrage of news, updates, and opinions can leave us feeling paralyzed. The rabbit hole goes even deeper when we realize that this information overload is not just detrimental to our mental health, but also dilutes our capacity for genuine understanding. Instead, we are often left skimming the surface, distracted by the noise of endless scrolling. It's crucial to cultivate mindfulness, creating spaces for reflection amid the chaos. Engaging with only what truly matters can help us sift through the noise, allowing for genuine moments of clarity and awareness. As we peel back these layers of existence, brought about by social media, professional pressures, fleeting relationships, and overwhelming information, we uncover something profound. Life is not merely a series of transactions, but an intricate tapestry woven from our intentions, experiences, and emotional connections. The true beauty rests in our ability to transcend the distractions and disillusionment, leading us toward a deeper appreciation for ourselves and those around us. Join me as we explore the path to reconnecting with our authentic selves while navigating the complexities of modernity. Together we can reclaim our identities, cultivate genuine relationships, and find meaning amidst the chaos, steering the narrative back toward a more enriching and fulfilling existence. The complexities of modern life manifest in the intricate web of our daily experiences. As we navigate the digital landscape, filled with social media platforms, constant notifications, and ever-present screens, we're confronted with the challenge of our identities. The plot thickens when you realize that social media, while a tool for connection, often leads us to lose sight of our true selves. We curate our lives online, crafting identities that may not reflect our genuine experiences. Much like a theater stage with changing scenery, the personas we create can shift drastically based on our audience, leaving us wondering who we truly are. In our pursuit of professional success, it's easy to fall into the trap of dissatisfaction. Too often, we measure our worth by job titles or salary, creating a life that feels more like a monotonous routine than a fulfilling journey. Here's where it gets really interesting. Recognizing that our professional roles are merely one aspect of our being, rather than a comprehensive definition, can liberate us from the pressures of societal expectations. By seeking meaning in our passions and nurturing genuine relationships, we can revive that lost spark of interest and creativity that truly makes life enriching. Authentic relationships suffer in this environment of comparison and competition. We often find ourselves in social circles that emphasize quantity over quality. In the search for connection, we might gather many acquaintances while missing out on those deeper bonds that truly enrich our lives. Picture an art gallery where each painting tells part of a story. While we may admire the numerous artworks on the wall, it's the intricate details and emotional narratives that resonate the most. By embracing vulnerability and sincerity, we can cultivate the authentic connections that provide comfort and understanding, steering ourselves away from superficial interactions. A new layer of anxiety lurks in the corners of our lives, overwhelming us with a constant barrage of information. The sheer volume of news, updates, and opinions can leave us feeling paralyzed. The rabbit hole goes even deeper when we realize that this information overload is detrimental to our mental health and dilutes our capacity for genuine understanding. Too often, we skim the surface, distracted by the noise of endless scrolling. It's crucial to cultivate mindfulness, creating spaces for reflection amid the chaos. By engaging with what truly matters, we can sift through the noise, allowing for moments of clarity and genuine awareness. As we peel back the layers of existence shaped by our reliance on social media, professional pressures, fleeting relationships, and overwhelming information, we uncover something profound. Life is not merely a series of transactions, but an intricate tapestry woven from our intentions, experiences, and emotional connections. The true beauty rests in our ability to transcend distractions and disillusionment, leading us toward a deeper appreciation for ourselves and those around us. Continuing on this journey, we're called to explore the interplay between solitude and connection. In a landscape where social interaction is exalted, the fear of solitude looms large. Society often champions companionship and community, proclaiming that joy lies in togetherness, while neglecting the essential truth that isolation can be just as powerful, if not more so. It whispers from the shadows, suggesting that the absence of others may reflect flaws within ourselves. Within this context, we must acknowledge that our darkest hours of solitude can illuminate our soul's desires, allowing for authentic self-discovery, like jazz improvisation where musicians respond and adapt to one another. There's a rhythm to life that honors both connection and solitude. By embracing our alone time, we can better understand our inner landscape, which in turn empowers us to engage more genuinely with others. Ultimately, by cultivating an awareness of both the external and internal landscapes, we can reclaim our identities and navigate the complexities of modernity with confidence. Together, we can cultivate authentic relationships and find meaning amid the chaos, steering the narrative back toward a more enriching and fulfilling existence. We started by asking what the true nature of karma really is. Then we discovered how our traditional understanding is rooted in misconceptions, limiting our perception of existence. Now, as we stand on the precipice of deeper understanding, we find ourselves confronting a compelling truth. Karma is not merely a ledger of good deeds and transgressions, but rather a fluid dance of intention and consequence. The central revelation is staggering, yet simple. The interplay between our actions and their outcomes is not governed by a strict moral calculus, but rather by our awareness and perception. This realization shakes the foundations of both personal and collective narratives, suggesting that pain and pleasure exist in shades far beyond simplistic constructs of right and wrong. Here lies the